why these students at Thornton Academy are demanding answers after hearing about the school's most recent budget cuts.
Plus, we're live in Washington, where Corporal Eugene Cole was one of hundreds of officers recognized in a ceremony with the president.
Plus, have you ever noticed that sponsored content on your Instagram feed? Turns out the people who post those things make a pretty decent amount of money.
Yeah, they're called influencers. How influential are they, and how much money are they making? This is News Center Now.
Eugene P. Cole.
Today, Maine police officers and family members of Corporal Eugene Cole joined thousands at the nation's capital for the National Peace Officers Memorial Service. Good evening, everyone. I'm Lindsay Mills.
And I'm Lee Nelson. Thanks for being with us. There, the family laid a rose in his honor. Our Zach Blanchard is live now in Washington, D.C., has been all week. And Zach, you spoke to the Cole family, right?
Yes, Lee and Lindsay, I did. Cole's brother Tom telling us that the family has been completely overwhelmed by the amount of support they've received here in Washington. Today, one of many moments over the past few days that he says have made his brother's death feel all the more real. Now, as you said, the family placed a rose during today's service, one for every fallen officer recognized into a ceremonial wreath. It's a symbol that shows the strength of what many here were calling the blue family, survivors joining together. President Trump speaking here today to remind us all of the sacrifice these officers and their families make every day. Somerset County Sheriff's deputies also turned out to support the Cole family and other departments from all across the country. But for Cole's family, it all has been a true source of hope.
The powerful part is the support and the honor that everybody is showing Gene, that you can't stay sad over that. You just realize that he was bigger than he ever thought he was, and he stood for something greater than himself.
Now that wreath has been placed at the National Memorial here for fallen law enforcement officers, and the Cole family, well, they're headed home to Maine tonight because tomorrow morning they will be attending yet another ceremony in Augusta where Cole's name will be put on the memorial wall there. We'll, of course, continue to cover this all the way through right here on News Center Maine. But for now, Lee and Lindsay, I'll send it back to you.
Alrighty, Zach, thank you very much. Very interesting, very sunny it looked like in Washington, D.C. today.
We got a little glimpse of that today. Did you catch it?
No, I must have been blinking.
It was so brief,
Okay.
but I was outside for it,
Okay.
Keith. It was amazing.
You know what it was? It was the 10 minutes you were working, Lee. That's when it happened. The rest of the day wasn't very good. But,
8.
It's a solid 8 minutes a day. Yeah, so D.C. it's one of those times of the year. Spring is when D.C. really excels compared to Maine, right? They're on the right side of these fronts and we're on the wrong side. A lot of showers out there. I mentioned at noon that I thought the shower activity would be basically confined to this area here, but it got down all the way into southern Maine earlier this morning, and the shower was still over the central part of the state, so it was a bit more convective of a day. It was due to a cool pool aloft in the atmosphere, which we'll talk about in brain drops. It's called a tease. I don't know if it worked or not, but there are the showers still out there through Belfast. Most of them will die down tonight. You can see the swirl of our storm system from yesterday still in the vicinity, but the back end of it starting to dry up and clear out, so things will be better overnight tonight. Temperatures, haves and have-not situation, even the haves not that warm, into the mid-50s. This was from that brief period of sun that Lindsay was mentioning. It was just enough to officially spike a lot of us into the 50s, but we didn't get it over northern Maine. So showers continue over down east and northern Maine through the first half of tonight. After that, we should start to clear out. And tomorrow is a sunnier day when compared to today, but still an isolated chance of a shower. Guys, the weekend still looks pretty good, but I may have flip-flopped my favorite day of the weekend, so it gets a little bit more interesting as we get closer. We'll talk about that in a few minutes.
All right, Keith, sounds good. Interesting, not always a great word in your department, but okay. Talk to you again in a bit. Abortion rights advocates are urging Alabama Governor Kay Ivey to veto an attempted abortion ban in her state, and they are vowing swift legal action to prevent it from taking effect. Alabama lawmakers gave final approval to legislation late yesterday that would make it a felony to perform an abortion at any stage of pregnancy.
However, even supporters of the bill expect courts to quickly block it from taking effect. The You Know Me hashtag has been trending because of this story. The goal is to get women to be open and share their stories about abortion.
Now, Miss, you might not think of Maine as a high crime state, but in 2017, a property crime happened every 26 minutes in Maine.
Now, convicted criminals are coming clean about how they know which homes are easy to break into. We're sharing their confessions to help you think twice about your own home security.
Every 22 seconds, the FBI gets another report of a home break-in.
It's my second burglary.
For Kimberly Sullins, it was so easy the first time. She did it again.
We took guns, games, a lot of personal items, jewelry.
A break-in is likely to set you back an average of almost $2,500.
What made you go for that house?
We broke in the door. It was forceful. We tore the lock off.
At least make it hard for the criminal. The safest locks have a deadbolt and a metal plate inside the door frame to make it harder to force open. This is standard stuff, but there are other ways criminals say they're getting in.
We looked in the windows and their cars weren't there.
If you're not home, fake it. Make it look like someone's there. Cover your windows, pull down the shades, leave music playing, or keep the TV on when you're away. This is like home safety 101. You know what to do. Notify neighbors when you'll be gone, and leave a car at home if possible. Think about the story you're telling from outside your home. Things like a NRA sticker on your car bumper could tell a burglar that your home has a lot of guns to steal. Burglars say security cameras are usually a deterrent, but they could also be a signal that you have valuables worth taking. Outside, scare thieves into thinking they're about to get caught with motion lights and light timers. One of the most overlooked tips is so obvious you might even roll your eyes when you hear it. Just lock your doors. But that's how Tina says she got in.
How'd you do it?
It was open.
What could the owner of that camper have done to prevent that from happening?
Locked it. Yeah, I wouldn't have broke no windows or nothing to get in it.
It seems so simple. What would you have done if the door had been locked?
I wouldn't have went in nowhere else.
Well, that does seem simple. Lock your door, right? Didn't have to used to do that, but I guess we do now.
Sure.
There is some good news here for Mainers. The number of burglaries in Maine did fall by about 16% from 2016 to 2017.
All right,
So there's
we'll
that.
take it.
Yeah, we will.
Coming up, a group of students in southern Maine making their voices heard after hearing 8 teachers at the school are losing their jobs.
And that's coming up. Also this, you ever dream of being an influencer on social media? A couple of women spent 4 years building a brand, and they're going to tell us how they did it. All right, we're back. Chances are, if you are on social media, and everybody's on social media, right? Instagram, though, especially, you've heard the term influencer.
How do people become one, and is it really as glamorous as it looks? Marisa Vidra finds the answers for us.
Instagram may be your favorite place to scroll. A feed filled with gorgeous photos from resorts, restaurants, and featuring great outfits. But these days, whether you realize it or not, a lot of what you're looking at is making people money. How? We asked an expert.
And I never imagined that I'd ever be making a career off of Instagram.
Lily Cramlick-Taylor, who with Kara Shannon co-founded an account you may follow, Dallasites 101. It was 4 years ago, and they were new in town.
At first, it was very much like we're 2 transplants from 2 coasts, exploring the city, come explore it with us.
They had day jobs in communications and marketing, but spent nights and weekends sharing highlights of their new city. And that's great, if someone's paying attention. Which brings us to the first influencer secret to success. Build your audience by liking them.
We would think about, where do new people go when they first move to Dallas? So we would look at the Rustic, Ice House, American Airlines Center, and pretty much look at the geotag and just like photos.
That like was an introduction. People then wanted to know what the account was that liked them, and most of the time, they'd follow back.
We made a lot of Instagram friends right from the start.
And the numbers started soaring. The duo incorporated Dallasites 101 that first year.
We started actually making money in our second year.
Secret to success number 2. Once you build it, brands will come. Businesses soon were willing to pay for the number of eyeballs seeing Dallasight's 101's posts. In 4 years, they grew from local companies to adding brands as big as 7-Eleven and Fossil, all spending serious money for a single Instagram photo. We're talking from $300 up to $1,000. Throw in some Instagram stories, placement on their website, and more. And that customized marketing adds up, reaching all of Dallasight's 101's more than 106,000 followers. The proof is these women, under 30, were able to leave their day jobs earlier this year. Their successful side hustle now pays all their bills.
We see it as a business. We want it to be a full-blown business, and we want to be recognized as, business women.
Think about that the next time you're scrolling. In Dallas, I'm Marisa Vagel.
Clearly, there are some people who are doing very, very well with this, but I suspect, and I've actually read, that there are a lot of people who say they're doing really, really well who might not actually be doing it. And it's interesting because I actually got a follow on my Instagram account earlier today from somebody who, right in their bio, says they're a brand influencer and they have 200 followers.
Yeah.
So they're not influencing anyone with 200 followers.
With 200 people, the reach isn't that far.
No.
You have to wonder, if you say you are you really?
Are you really? Well, you're influencing your cat, maybe, but other than that, I don't know.
Sam says, what's wrong with that? Speaking of Sam, she's going to join us in a little bit to talk about a school protest that happened today, centering around 8 teachers who are losing their jobs.
Yeah, so look into that. Also, Keith trying his best to influence Mother Nature and give us some nice weather for a change.
Oh my God.
No? Cash back?
No.
No.
It is a reality for a lot of schools across Maine, declining enrollment numbers paired with shrinking finances. And this recently became the reality for Thornton Academy in Saco.
Yes, it's prompted budget cuts and the elimination of some positions, but the changes are not sitting well with students there. And today they decided to take action of their own. Sam York joins us now with more. Hey, Sam.
Yeah, guys, so if you drove past Thornton Academy today, you would have seen a sea of students who were standing outside holding signs in front of the school. It was their way of showing support to the staff who's been let go and their chance to draw attention to something they say never should have happened.
Hey, ho, ho!
It's a message these students want heard loud and clear, and one they say is worth fighting for.
Faculty members had no heads up either. Students had no heads up. The community had no heads up.
Students and staff at Thornton Academy say they were blindsided last week with the news that 8 positions were being cut from the school's budget, effective immediately, prompting students like Delaney Zigman and her classmates to take action.
It's upsetting that TA isn't fully listening to their students.
The central programs that make our school great.
There should be a more communication between administration and students that there isn't right now.
The students feel this kind of decision shouldn't have been made without them, but school officials say their hands were tied, blaming the cuts on a drop in public enrollment.
And these are great staff members who have meant so much to the Thornton Academy community. They've done so much, and like the students, we're saddened by this.
Administrators have vowed to keep classroom disruptions from the cuts to a minimum, but students say they've already felt the impact.
Yesterday, my science teacher was late to class because she had to go cover the library.
It will be a team effort to make do with the changes. But these students say that's asking a lot from a staff that already gives everything to its students.
The headmaster says that the faculty's all just going to have to work harder, but I can't imagine anybody that works harder than our teachers, and I can't imagine working harder than they already do.
So due to privacy reasons, the school couldn't go into specifics about which positions were eliminated, but they say that the people who were let go, which was one part-time teacher and then 7 other faculty members, they're going to be paid through their contract at the end of June. But the reason that they let them go as early as they did was to give them ample time to find a new opportunity. Because that was a question students had, you know, if their contract is through the end of June, why now? But they said they're just looking out for them.
Awesome learning experience for the students. Maybe not awesome in the way it's, you know, falling out, but they're learning a lot, and it's great to see how much they love their teachers.
Yeah,
you know,
teachers can make such an impact.
they really do, and that was cool about this too. Was that it's a sad thing, but they're really positive about what they're doing. So,
right, Sam.
Sam, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Well, I wish we could be saying thanks to Keith right now for a pleasant spring day.
One day we will.
Positive things to me. Mrs. Delaney, my 8th grade science teacher, is the one. That's when I started to really love weather. It is true. It makes
and she's the reason you're here.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Well, one way or another. I'm sorry, guys.
Oh, thanks, Mrs. Delaney.
All right, we got to only the 50s today. It's amazing how low our standards are becoming for temperatures. You know, 56. Oh, that's not bad. Average high is 63, and we only got to 49 in Waterville and 42 in Caribou. So we're just on the wrong side of this coin. A lot of showers out there, and that's been the case through much of the day. They're starting to dwindle in coverage. You can see it right there. But there's still a couple more hours over down east and northern Maine left of these showers, and they've been training a bit over towards the Belfast, Rockland, Rockport area and into Waterville. So that's where most of the showers will be over the next few. After that, we start to clear out a little drier back here down across New Hampshire and Vermont. And so our trend overnight will be drying, and tomorrow is a better looking day than today. That being said, it's still not a great day, and I'm not sure there's a single banner day this week. I mean, Tuesday was terrible because we had snow, and then it's just this day. Today's not great. What was Monday? I don't even remember. It wasn't sunny. I just remember that it wasn't sunny. So anyways, none of the days this week look very good. Of those options, I suppose, tomorrow is the best one, into the low 50s at first and then maybe mid 50s. And notice there's more sunshine around, so that's good. But that does pop up a couple of showers in the afternoon, and a drive maybe at 60 out towards Freiburg and maybe Sanford and Lewiston could get to 60 tomorrow afternoon. We start with sun on Friday, but we quickly cloud up, and then some showers come in on Friday afternoon into Friday night. Not big stuff, but I think most of us will see some rain overnight on Friday before clearing out just in time for Saturday. So I loved Sunday yesterday, and I still think there's a chance that I could love Sunday again. But right now, I have shifted my eyes to Saturday because of the way the timing is playing out. Saturday does look like the better of the 2 weekend days right now. Sunday is all or nothing because this front now is starting to eke up into Maine, which is good because it will be warmer, but it's bad because it gives us a chance for showers now on Sunday. So if we can get the front another 70 miles north, then Sunday will be great. But as it stands, I had to put the chance of showers into the forecast there. And we're looking, we want the yellows to get over Maine. We want the yellows to get there. And it's not until late next week they hint at it, but man, that carpet has been pulled out from under several times. So Jess and I were just joking. She loves, this is a nerd joke, she loves looking at the really long range GFS model because it's not usually right. She's like, oh, it gives us 90 next Monday, not this Monday, the Monday after. And we're like, oh, it's a lock then. It's trying to warm us up.
Yeah.
We'll see if we can get there.
I'm happy about Saturday, though, because there is a motorcycle ride for the Dempsey Challenge, Dempsey Center in Lewiston over to Brunswick and back, and which I'm going to be part of. So I'm really happy about that. So
yeah, it's going to be decent. Yeah.
You've done us a
I
favor.
want both days. Let's make that happen.
Yes, both days is good. Both days
Good
is
deal. Good deal.
All right, Keith, thank you very much. Hey, you got to check this out. The harrowing ride that a couple of people down in Oklahoma had when their lift came loose on top of a skyscraper.
Just those words give me chills. The two people who were window washers were at the mercy of Mother Nature. Look at this. You can see their lift was swinging out of control on top of the Devon Tower. This happened this morning. The lift smashed into the building several times as rescuers tried to bring the basket under control. Eventually, crews were able to get ropes to them, and they managed to tie the basket off and lower it to the roof of the building. Oh my
No, thank
goodness.
you.
Yes. Glad that had an okay ending.
Yeah.
Everyone was safe. Well, parents may soon be able to use their iPhone to see if their child has an ear infection, or their phone.
Yeah, researchers at the University of Washington have created an app that can detect if there's fluid behind the eardrum, okay, which would lead to an ear infection, obviously. A series of soft, audible chirps will go through the ear. You have to use a small paper funnel and the phone's microphone and speaker. And the way the chips are reflected back to the phone would then determine if there is fluid in the ear. Now, scientists did test the app on 53 kids, and it correctly determined the likelihood of fluid 85% of the time.
Ear infections can be not fun to deal with.
No, no.
Especially for the little guys.
I had them a ton when I was a kid.
Yeah, they happen.
But I turned out great.
Yeah, look at you now. Which teacher do you want to thank for being here?
Mrs. Stahl.
That's the theme of the night.
Yes,
thanking our teachers.
yeah. How about you?
You know, I would have to say Mrs. Wall. She actually does watch, so hey, Mrs. Wall.
That's
I had her
awesome.
for kindergarten and 3rd grade.
And oh, awesome.
Yeah.
Twice. All right. And who's yours?
Mr. Schmidt.
Mr. Schmidt.
He called me Cindy Lou Who.
Okay, there you go.
Yeah.
In an endearing way?
In an endearing way.
Okay, good.
Yes. He was actually a math teacher, but somehow I'm here.
Here we go.
I do like math, though. We got a lot more news coming up on News Center at 5:30. We told you yesterday about this event plan called a Drag Queen Story Hour at a children's bookstore in Waterville. Well, today we are talking with the owner of that store and the raves and criticism she has been getting since announcing that event. Also, the birth rate nationwide is down, and now there's actually concern that it's so low that this generation will not replace itself. So what does that mean big picture? We're going to take a look. Those stories and more ahead at 5:30.
You're going to give me some math tutoring help over the break.
Well, depends on how complicated it
Right.
is. We'll check out the basics.
Back to frame drops in a bit.
Welcome to the green screen. Okay,
Yes.
so I was talking about how we had a lot of showers today, and it's because of a cool pool aloft in the atmosphere. So you think it's always cool higher up in the atmosphere, why does that matter? Well, the basic idea as to why we get showers is that the sun heats the surface, it gets warmer, it rises, starts to cool, and eventually cools and condenses to the dew point of the temperature up at that part of the atmosphere. So it usually takes a while, it's gonna go pretty high to get to that equilibrium. But if you've got cold air not far aloft, it doesn't take as warm air today, 40s and 50s, it only has to rise a short distance, cools a little bit, and then condenses much more quickly. So basically, if it's 50 at the surface, but there's a cool pool aloft, it can create a lot of showers, and it's almost popcorn showers like you'd see in Florida. So it's pretty interesting. I talk about this anecdotally, and nobody knows what I'm talking about. So hopefully this helps.
This is
Story of my life. Nobody knows what I'm talking about.
Images help.
Yes.
News Center Main at 5:30 starts right now.